Hello, how are you all doing? Wow, we are at the eclipse. This first one, we are officially in eclipse mode. This is Tyra Omilade, your goddess guru. And y'all know I love helping women align with their life purpose using ancient wisdom so that they confidently and courageously live the amazing lives they know they deserve. Y'all know it's all about the goddess lifestyle. So I wanted to just pop on today to talk to you a little bit more about the eclipse because it's a new concept. I found out about the eclipses about 4 years ago. Yeah, about 4 years ago. And so it sometimes takes a little while to understand exactly how does eclipse energy work. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you all today. Let me know if you are here, either you are here live or are you watching the replay, hashtag replay. I would love to know who's watching and also give me some feedback as we go along. I love discussion. And yeah, just let me know, what do you think about, let me just check something. Public. Okay, cool. So something that I want you all to know about the eclipse that we just had. First of all, this eclipse is in Sagittarius. And so Sagittarius is about our hopes, our dreams, our desires. It's about where are we headed? It's the big picture. It's the house that has to do with, it's one of the houses that has to do with inspiration. So, wherever you need inspiration, work with the energy of a Sagittarius, because Sagittarius will give you that big picture. It is a very wise energy. And so this is sort of like the overarching theme that we work with when it comes to Sagittarius. Now, the other thing to know about Sagittarius is, or what's going on with, the other thing to know about Sagittarius is to understand that it is a sign that has to do with our belief system. So it is important for you to understand and know some of this. They did not teach us, whoever they is, whoever they are. So we were not taught properly who and what we are and how to develop and grow. So it is important for you to understand that you are a construct when it comes to this physical form, this physical experience. You are a construct. You have an identity, you have values, you have beliefs, you have, a way of thinking, you have behaviors. And so it's important to realize that what we believe, what we think, who we say we are our identity. It dictates our experience. It dictates what's possible. See, this is what Sagittarius is about. Sagittarius allows us to see what is possible and to go for it. The issue with eclipses, though, is this: there's two parts to eclipses. And the part of the eclipse that's happening in Sagittarius is the part that's about releasing and letting go. Now, just know, day of eclipse, a lot of people will notice not much. Maybe your sleep might be a little different. You might feel like you're a little more sensitive. But day of the eclipse is not necessarily when you will see everything happen. Astrology doesn't work that way. Astrology works over time. Sometimes it's a short, what we call transit, which means it might be 1-2 days. This is when this energy will be in effect. But eclipse energy is more of like, honestly, 15 months long. But it waxes and it wanes. And so now we're at this energy where we're at the beginning of it. It's like this big push of an energy. And so now it's, imagine something has been catapulted up, and whatever force, catapults it up, it goes up as high as it needs to go, and then it starts coming down. And so now at this particular eclipse, we are going up. Okay. Around Virgo season is when it gets to the top, and then it starts coming back down. This particular eclipse, we will feel a catapult up again in December. We've been experiencing this particular one in Sagittarius since last year, this time. And so this eclipse is about continuing the work that we've been doing. And it is about what do you need to release and let go of. And as someone who is, hey, good morning, how y'all doing? As someone who is now understanding how we are set up and how we're designed and how do people make progress and get to where they're going, I know for a fact that it is so important to take time to look at what do you actually believe. What is it that you actually believe to be possible? And whenever you identify that belief that either is taking you where you want to go, now that's a good one. If you're like, I believe in what I'm doing, and that belief keeps you going, that's great. But there are so many beliefs that we have that prevent us from getting to where we want to go. These are called limiting beliefs. And typically, there are pillar beliefs that we have that dictate pretty much everything. They dictate so much of what we do and how we do. And this eclipse, because it is in Sagittarius, is so pivotal and so important that we have an opportunity to release what we call a domino limiting belief. You take that one belief and knock it out the box, release it and let it go. The wind is behind your back to do this. The universe is saying to you, you must let this go. Then when you do that, you will find that it changes everything. Now, I have to tell you all, honestly, it starts with your identity. It has not been until I shifted my identity, which then also shifts values, like what's really important to you. Where are you going to spend your time and your money? It is when we begin to shift that our belief system changes. But we can begin with a belief because that's what this is about. And maybe it is time for you to take on a new identity, a new way of thinking and believing in the world. How many of us are walking bent over with some identity that's weighing us down? It's no longer serving us, right? And so what's important is that we begin to say, I know for a fact I cannot get to where I want to go, or we keep having these repetitive experiences that we don't like. We know for a fact it's something there, is what a lot of us say. It's like I'm blocked, is how a lot of us will say. It's just like one big block. It's like you just bumping. You so badly want it. Why can't you get there? But when you go into the deep recesses of your mind, you know there's a fear. You know there's a voice that's like, girl, bruh, you can't do that. I'm afraid. But the question is, what is there? What are you thinking? And if you continue to just follow a thread, there's a thread, take it back and back and back. You may remember the first time this belief got set in you, and it got set hard. It's like, man, I've got to believe this in order to protect myself. Because a lot of times these beliefs, they're put in place as a way of survival, as a way of um, what else would I say? A mechanism to survive. And we see that it kind of helps us get along, even if it's something negative. So, and hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Good morning. Veronica. Hi. Let's see here. Johnny, Benita, Patrice. I see you all. Ashe. So let me tell you one of my limiting beliefs that I put in place, but it's a domino. It's a domino. Think about the dominoes, right? How we have them all set up. in a particular order. And when you knock that one domino down at the beginning, the whole thing just gets knocked down. We're looking for a domino limiting belief. Good morning. Let's see, we got Sunny Gummy Bear, we got Stephanie. How are y'all doing? So glad y'all are here. So, the example that I want to share with you all that has been the one that I've worked on over the last year is it's not safe to shine. So, what ended up happening to me when I was about 10 years old? I was a good girl, put that in quotes because, that's how people see us. Good girl. I was seriously labeled good girl. Teacher's pet is another name that kids called me when I was a kid. Teacher's pet didn't bother me so much. I was proud of teacher's pet. But the good girl, that was the one that made me feel unsafe because what would end up happening is sometimes little girls, I went to a very small school, little girls' moms loved me and they wanted their daughters to be like me, and they would tell their daughters that. I was like, why would you do that to me? Like, I'm only 10. And I'm realizing this is a bad idea. This is a very bad idea. Tell them to be like the 16-year-old. Don't tell them to be like their peer. Because what ended up happening is I got bullied. I got treated horribly. And the thing that they said about me was, my mama wants me to be like you, and I don't like you for that. You good girl. And so I remember like it was yesterday when I was 10 years old, I said to myself, oh, forget being excellent and shining. No way. This is not safe. I know for a fact if I fly under the radar, nobody will come for me. And so that's what I did. I always was at the top of below the radar. I just have a natural inclination for being excellent. I just love being excellent at what I do. I always tell people I don't have to be like the number one best, but I must be the best for me. I will always strive for that. So it served me to be naturally a person that loves being excellent, but I never let myself shine too much. I would always do like just enough to shine just a little bit because I know I need to move forward in life. But I always was like, no, it's not safe to shine. And so a lot of times people don't always really get me or know me or see me until after they get to know me. That's when I shine. I shine when people have like one-to-one relationships or small groups with me. Initially, when people meet me, they don't notice me. And that's because I set it up. I don't shine. No, I'm not sticking out. I don't want to. Uh, Inevitably, once people get to know me, I will. But no. So, how does "It's Not Safe to Shine" work for somebody who makes videos, whose ability to impact people with the wisdom that has been imbued in me, the gifts that have been given to me, depends on being on video? How does I is not safe to shine work? And anybody who has followed me for a while, because I've been on YouTube for 11 years, 10 years. Anyone who has kept up with me these 10 years knows that I come on, I would stay on, for a little while, and then I would poof, go away, hiding, scared to shine. And so this is one that I've had to identify and face. It's not safe to shine in this social media world that we live in right now. It is so easy to feel like, man, it's not safe to get on here. There are people who love just coming on and you know sometimes I see people's video, I'm like, who put a down arrow on this video? Like, what's wrong? It's like they just want to come put, I'm like, come on, y'all, let's up it. um and so, yeah, it's been something for me to identify this because I'm telling you, I have to have people tell me, face this limiting belief. Tell yourself it is safe to shine because as you do, you're able to get your message out. You're able to share your gifts and your talents. Because all of y'all who've been keeping up with me talking about these eclipses know part of the way I got into astrology was because I saw myself die in a dream, leaving my gifts unused. That's terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying. Well, if I'm afraid to shine, how am I going to get this out here? So I've had to identify that limiting belief. That's a domino limiting belief that I continue to dismantle day after day after day. And the eclipse is giving me an opportunity because it's a wind behind my back to release and let it go, to just let it, purge out of me. And this is what you can do for yourself also. But the question is, how do we do this? And the best way to do it is actually to confront what are the areas of your life that you're just like, yeah, this is where I face some of the biggest challenges. This is where I find myself, trembling or hiding. It's like I don't even want to look at it. I can't even touch it. And then we can begin to put into place, because some of y'all gonna need to go get some assistance. Some of us got some stuff that's so it's a lot for us to handle by ourselves, and it's really okay to go find somebody to help you with it. Okay. And so you can begin to put these things in place to begin to dismantle all of this. And this is what the eclipse in Sag allows us to do. So I do encourage you to write down, what are you going to release and let go of in terms of at least one domino limiting belief. And tell me if you're live, or even in the replay. I would love to hear from you. And I will respond if you're in the replay. Tell me, do you have an idea of your limiting belief? And are you willing to release it? Even though you may not know exactly how you're going to release it, are you willing to let this go? Because what this eclipse allows us to do is to release the limiting belief so that we can move in the direction of our destiny, move in the direction of our goals. Because, see, again, Sagittarius, think about it, it's an arrow pointing off into the future. And so, are you willing to let go of this belief so that you can move in the direction of your goals? What are your goals? What is it that you want to achieve in your life? And are you willing to let go of whatever is that limiting belief that you have? And part of the letting go of the limiting belief, I'm going to give you a hint. For some of y'all, this is what you need to understand. You need to stop having that identity that you have. I don't care if your identity has kept you safe. I don't care if your identity, kind of cloaks you, like I've been using my identity to cloak me. We are taking on the collective burden, a lot of us, of our people. And as we take on this collective burden of our people, this identity that goes with it, then it only allows you to do certain things. It only allows you to have certain things in your life. And I say it's time for us to define, this is who I am. This is what I desire in my life. And we just keep clarifying it, keep clarifying it to make sure it's truly ours and not something that it's lots of influence going on, y'all. Every time we turn on the internet, every time we turn on the TV, radio, whatever it is that is coming our way, it's a lot of influence. So yeah, we have to keep clarifying, is this really what I want, or am I being influenced? And, okay, maybe we are being influenced. Is it influencing me in a positive way, saying, hey, do you boo? Or is it influencing me in a way that keeps me in a box? This is what you want to be asking yourself. Can I let go of my identity? What part of your identity can you let go of? So, good morning. Okay. I appreciate you. I didn't feel safe being good either. Yep, it's not easy. And this is something that I don't think a lot of people understand, especially women. If you have a daughter today, a granddaughter, some young woman in your life who is a good girl, let her be a freaking good girl. Praise her for being who she is. Some of us, that's just who we are. Whatever that means, okay? So, it's like a label, but let her be a good girl in her own way. Because trust me, she'll be bad at some time. She'll be naughty. She'll be a badass too one day. We all have our days, right? And the one that starts out all rebellious, let her be rebellious. Like, why are we taming? This is something that I don't understand. And yes, I do understand it. Again, it goes back to this. I want to be safe. Okay, you want to be so safe that we are self-taming. We taming ourselves and we taming everybody out here. Tell the ones who are rebellious, don't be rebellious. Tell the ones who are good, or protect the ones who are good girls, and tell the ones that are like, you're a little rebellious, but let the good girl be, who she is. I always loved the rebellious sisters. I was like, I like the ones that's a little bit different. One of the girls that actually came from me, I mean, like, she died like 2 years ago, but she actually was somebody I admired. She, back in the day, was very rebellious. She was very different and eclectic. And I always admired that about her because, of course, I was a little bit more like, I'm just going to stay right here because I'm not quite sure about that yet. I don't know about certain hairstyles and the ways of dressing yet. So I always looked at her like, one day I want to be like that, just flair or whatever. I don't know. She was a diva by her own right. So I always liked all the different styles of girls that I saw, but there was lack of protection. We got attacked. Those of us who were good girls, we got attacked. It was not easy. I had to fight people at times because they were coming for me. I'm like, oh my God, y'all making the good girl fight. Don't sleep. Good girls, we will fight if we have to defend ourselves. Put our daughters in more martial arts, good or rebellious. They all need it. Okay. We need that kind of thing. Yes. Oh, thank you, Benita. Yes. This was a thing of mine as well. I know I'm here for a reason. Yes, Patrice. Um, that's really interesting. It's nice to hear people who you can relate to. And trust me, I've had all different versions of myself. So I understand quite a bit about, yeah. It's a blessing I came across this live. I'm brought to tears, feeling the guidance I've been struggling to find. Oh, that reaffirms why it's safe to shine. It's good so that I can get on and get this to you all. So I'm so happy to hear that, Sunny Gummy Bear, because this is so important. Understanding this higher wisdom that has been hidden to what control us. Okay. It's hidden to control us. And then there's so many people who have way more resources. They're way more comfortable with themselves in some regards, and they're using it every day. And we wonder, how are so many people making it and we aren't? Well, not so many, the few. You notice how it doesn't matter what the community is, doesn't matter what the culture is. It typically is just the few that's winning. Why? Is because they understand all of this higher wisdom. Y'all remember the movie The Secret? That's what I feel like I'm doing. I'm a part of the secret movement. We're bringing to the forefront what it is that people need to know. And you all know it's not a lot of people out there. There's not a lot of diversity in this way of sharing wisdom. Okay. And so I'm here to represent whoever I represent. I might represent the Black women. I might represent the older women. Because let me tell you, 50 plusers, they killing life right now. They doing it big and doing it well. Right. But they need to see representation. I might be representing African Americans. This is a different group. We are very unique. And I include in African Americans the sisters from the Caribbean, because we just have a different understanding of life and reality. And sometimes we just get bashed. like there's no tomorrow. Hey, Don Marie, how are you? Okay, let's see here. The good girl has been my identity, and I found myself lost in that giving and doing for others. This is so good. And now burnt out, exhausted, feeling lifeless, and loss of my own ambitions, too busy fueling others. So let's talk about what this looks like, because this is actually something that a lot of us experience. And so, what we have to begin to do is to shift our belief or our identity into I care for myself. Like, I care a lot for myself. I care deeply for me. This is one of the other shifts I've had to make. Like, it's really okay. Like, my life depends on me caring about myself. I am very selfish in that regard. Call me selfish if you want. And it's really good for me. Like, I know that self-care is healthcare, and my worth is inherent. These are the kinds of conversations we have to be having with ourselves. And then also look at the result of what you're doing. Because I've been there. Like, I'm only now just digging myself out of this hole of feeling like I'm an empty shell, because I've given and given and given. And I've not been open to all of the possibilities because I was afraid to shine. Um, and so what do? We have to begin to say, well, I'm doing all this and I'm totally run down. I'm on the verge of feeling like I'm the walking. I felt like I was on the brink of death. I probably wasn't, but that's how empty I felt. And and I just said to myself, is this really how I want to live my life? Like, is this really what, well, on the day I die, I'm going to look at this like, this is great. Um, Everyone else benefited from my Ashe except for me. What is Ashe? Our Ashe, our life force. I'm not giving myself any Ashe. I'm not letting my own Ashe feed me. I'm not letting my own life force, my own healing energy feed me. And so it goes back to, what are the messages? I am still somebody who is like, I love helping people and I love giving and I love caring. That's who I am. The other part, though, is me recognizing that I love who I am. I love giving to myself. And so I am a balanced human. I'm very balanced. See, this is more about identity. If you have an identity, because I've been seeing all the Black women, it doesn't matter if you're Black or not, but I've just been seeing all the Black women put this out. And I think a lot of people can relate to this. I'm tired of folks telling me to be strong and resilient, which I believe in resilience, but I think resilience only comes from giving to yourself. Like, you can't be resilient, just I'm gonna give, and then I'm gonna, be able to come back all of a sudden, and just be resilient from an empty cup. But it's this thing of, oh, sisters, they're gonna show up no matter what. Black women, they're gonna show up. Um, we're tired of that, quite frankly. But a lot of women feel this way. A lot of women feel this way. And so it's like, nah, if that's the version of the Black woman I am, I rebuke it, and I have a new version of a Black woman. And whatever your definition of yourself is, because I know not everybody who watches me is a Black woman, but just take my example and use it in your own life. So I told myself, if my version of a Black woman means I got to buy into certain things and certain ways of thinking and certain ways of being, guess what? I guess I'm not that type of Black woman. Okay. And at the end of the day, my ultimate identity is an all powerful being. That's my ultimate identity. So then I get to allow my Black woman to just be guided and directed by this all powerful energy that I am. And she gets to show up with her curls, with her curves, and her beautiful, melanated skin and body, and her big nose and full lips. And she doesn't have to care, because it's like, my identity transcends this. And so all the messages that come to us, my identity transcends. When I was a little girl and I was told, this is what little girls do. Now, I will never teach everything. I will teach some of it. I will never teach everything. Now, my mama, she programmed me in a very good way. In many ways, my mother did a good job. Everybody did not have that in life. Okay, everybody did not have a mom like me, but allow me and other people who want to love on you to help hold you so that you can begin to reparent yourself. What mama couldn't give to you, you can give to yourself through sometimes working with other people, going to get that massage, telling yourself, let me tell you, this is how I might say it too. A real black woman, she gonna go get massages. She gonna get her feet worked on. A real woman who's 50 plus, she's gonna be going and working out on a regular basis and keeping. One of the ladies in my inner circle was like, "Baby, I'm trying to rise up to my level of greatness while I'm still sexy." And all of us were like, "Girl, we're gonna be sexy forever." So 50 plus, own your sexy. Because I understand the mind trip that we begin to go through when we start graying and we start noticing different parts of our bodies ain't looking like they used to look. But that don't mean we can't still bring the sexy, can't still bring the feminine and the beautiful. But we have to own that, is what I'm saying. We have to begin to tell ourselves, this is who I am. This is how I do it. And everybody around me, guess what? You are going to just get with it. But let me tell you what the eclipse will do for you. The eclipses will push you and say, you don't have a choice. Your back is up against the wall. You will change. Time's up. Time's up. And I'm just asking you, don't let it come through like Oya, Oya, the goddess of the wind. Don't let it come through like Oya with a tornado. Oya is like, baby, I'm coming through like a gentle breeze. Okay. I just want to push you along. Make the choice. Okay. Because we are only I can save me. Only you can save you. Yes. Do I have support along the way? I do. I I reach out to people. I buy classes and all this, pay coaches to support me. But at the end of the day, nobody can save us but ourselves. And this is what the eclipses do for us. Save yourself. Let it go. So what's the one limiting belief that you can let go of that you know? Well, how many of us feel like I'm not worthy? I know that's one of mine. I've been feeling that way for years. It's like, why do I feel this way? Like what I hear from other people is like, oh, you're so wonderful. Like no matter what, why do I feel like I'm not worthy? Okay, that's a limiting belief I need to be releasing and letting go. There is work that we have to do day in and day out to begin to get our consciousness to shift in a different direction. But the eclipses, that's the wind behind your back. I'm just asking you to think of one thing that you can release and let go of. Yes. Hey, Chula. Good. Benita, so good. I'm so happy to hear that you put your girls in karate. I am so happy to hear that. Ashe, Sonny, I got you. I got you. Yes, it is my goal to continue to share in a way that helps women open themselves up to their destiny and open themselves up to understanding who they are. See, the more I've studied myself, the more I'm like, oh, this is cool. The quirkiness, the downsides, and the glory and the wonder. It's like, I just love it all. This is so fascinating. This is so interesting. I see why I do what I do. And then I get to operate or get to choose how am I going to channel this? So, I've told people in the past, I've dealt with an OCD, hair pulling. And now I kind of, first and foremost, it was a coping mechanism from the stress of my childhood. I was raised up in a violent home. And my father was an alcoholic. He isn't now. Good person. Love him now, y'all. So if you ever see him or meet him or see me with him, he's a good guy now. But it's the truth. This is the truth. And so, yeah, I began to, oh, and a mean girl. The day I started pulling my hair, I was being bullied by a mean girl on the school bus. Oh my God. Angela was her name. And I love Angie's and Angelas. But anywho, I was so stressed at this girl talking at the back of my head. Oh my God. That I just pulled a hair out and I felt relief, right? And then for anyone who deals with hair pulling, and I think people who cut are similar to hair pullers or people with LCDs, you get a release, and you just keep doing it. And then you feel shame. You feel a lot of shame about it. And so, it's like a double whammy. I felt shameful before, and now I'm feeling even more shame. Well, what I began to realize as I said, well, I got to keep studying myself is first and foremost, if the worst thing I did was pull my hair out, no shame. I have zero shame about it. Like I used to not tell people I had this OCD. I was so ashamed of it. Now I am like, that's the worst I did. Okay. Okay. But then when I don't pull my hair out, because this is one of the reasons I cut my hair, I keep my hair short, because I don't pull if I have short hair. I don't know why, but that's always been my remedy. When I can't stop pulling my hair out, shoo, just cut the hair short. No hair pulling. Well, what I begin to realize is how OCD I get about doing things. Like, let's say I know I put something somewhere, but when I go there, I can't find it, but I know it's here. I don't give up. Oh no, that will be found. There have been some shirts. I remember my sons, I had bought these Superman shirts. There was a Superman movie that came out, and I had these shirts. They were like my younger son. I mean, my older son was like 5, which means my younger son was about 2. And I we went somewhere. They were all getting dirty or whatever. You know how little boys are, little kids in general. They can get so dirty. And so I took these shirts off because they were new, and we left them somewhere. And I was like, where are these shirts? I can't find these shirts. Like it was driving me crazy. It was during uh what was it? Uh it was the day of the summer solstice. And somebody contacted me like a year later and said, "Hey, I got these shirts." Because I was like, I'm gonna find these shirts. I have found stuff that it was like nobody thought these things could be found. A watch. I found this watch like a year later when my husband found it, but I held the energy that he was going to find this watch after a move. After a move. So it's like I love this OCD energy that I have. When people say OCD, I'm like, no, for real. I'm OCD for real. But I've learned how to channel it so it's not shameful anymore. I've shifted my identity. You notice I didn't say, well, I said I have an OCD, but typically I say I deal with OCD. Mm-mm. I'm not saying I'm an OCDer. Forget that. I am saying, man, I'm intense because I'm a Scorpio. Okay, here we go, Patrice. I am willing to release keeping myself, my personality, and God given abilities small, very good to feel safe and to not bring attention to myself. Also, releasing fear of imperfections is crippling. So, again, I hope that this OCD story has helped to um, you to begin to realize how you can embrace what seems to be an imperfection as something that's actually part of your quirkiness and beneficial. But I'm going to tell you all, based on what Patrice has said, it's very important for us to study ourselves. It's one of the things, I'm just going to bring this up real quickly. I don't all the time know how, I need to do a better job of explaining this, but this yellow circle awareness is about knowing yourself. Okay. That is the most important thing that you can do in life is to know thyself. And this is what I call the 3-part goddess framework for purposeful living. We want to have awareness, and it's different types of awareness. I'm talking about awareness of the self. Alignment is about what do we do to bring ourselves in alignment with truth? And then action. You can never in your life really and truly understand the greatness of who you are without taking action. And a lot of times it's about understanding what is what are the divine laws of the universe, and that's how you take action. Oh, Sunny Gummy Bear, it's eclipse time. This is how you found me. Yes. See, Sunny, okay, so she said afraid to fall apart because of being told to be strong all the time. And so the what I always ask myself is how is this working for me right now? Is this working? And the more miserable I felt, I'm telling you, Oya, the goddess Oya, is known for coming through with a tornado. We all know what the after effects of tornadoes look like, but that is not how Oya has to come through. But Oya will come through that way because Oya is like, you know what? I can't let you go out like that. I cannot. if you don't go on ahead and just make the change, I'm going to force it. And I don't like saying it that way to people, because Oya is a beautiful goddess of change. And so it's like change or be changed is what she says. And so I just encourage you to begin to give yourself proof of how you're being told to be strong all the time. Give yourself proof of why that is not working and how it's a lie from the pit of hell. Okay. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Be strong all the time. Lies. There's day and there's night. Day is energy, night is calm. The actual nature will show you being strong all the time is not how it works. There's always the ebb and the flow. The ebb is good. There's beauty in the ebb. There's beauty in the release. There's beauty in the letting go and just being. There's healing in that. Okay? There's whatever you're looking for, it's in that. My new identity is to just live in freedom. And so, with Johnny living with this identity, this is how, these are the experiences she can expect. It's now like, well, I do what I want to do. Like, I don't ask for permission, nothing. I just do what I want to do. I'm free. Right? So, I love that. Ashe, Johnny, yes. Not allowing anybody outside of myself to define my worth anymore. Ashe. That's very important, Johnny. Healing me and pouring into me. I will not feel burned out again by others. A lot of us can relate to that. 53 and still cute as can be. I love that, Don Marie. Feeling worthy is a struggle for me. So again, some of it is understanding. This is Stephanie. Another some of what it is we have to understand how worth is really defined. We have to begin to redefine what is worth. And see, y'all, this is the thing. Think of clay. That's who we are. So we heard one definition of what worth is. So all we have to do is just say, I erase that. And I now write, what is my definition of worth? Period. It's just like that. And you just accept it. That's it. Doesn't matter what anyone else says. I say, this is what worth is. Worth is, I just showed up. That's what worth is. I just showed up. I'm just me. But there is spiritual teachings that speak to our worth and our value. But we have to infuse our lives with it day in and day out. Getting better at realizing my worth. Beautiful. Yeah, the school bus is part of the reason I homeschooled my kids. Was I was like, I just had a lot of trauma from school. And I know not everybody can homeschool their kids. It is truly a privilege. But that was something I was willing to, I was like, I'm willing to sacrifice a lot to prevent my kids from some of the trauma that I experienced from school. How about change good for your dad? We all have come from somewhere. Yes. My dad did change. He's like so much better. He is so much better. I release the lie from the pit of hell. It's my job to rescue those I love in order to be loved. Ashe. And I'm holding this energy for you, EM. I'm holding this. And begin to show yourself proof that the opposite or whatever the new thing is true. Okay. Show yourself that it is my job to rescue those I love. Show yourself that it is your job to hold space for them to rescue them on themselves. It's very few people. You want me to tell you, one of the things that I've recognized, the beginning of the end for me is the words I have to. I've now caught myself on that. I have to, I think, is what led me into COVID. That's how I ended up getting COVID. So funny. I stopped pulling my gray curls out. Yes. And embracing them when I had an image of Oya coming through as Storm. I love Storm. Oh my God. I love Storm. She's one of my favorite. One of my friends actually calls me Sister Storm. I love Storm. So I now consider them the blessings of Oya. Oh yeah. You may not be able to see them. Oh my God, my hair is so gray. And it's not even graying all over. It's just like a patch right up here. So yes, I'm going to run because I need to get a few things done here around the house. But I do want to just remind you all, what did we talk about today? We are in the energy of the eclipse that's about releasing, and in particular, releasing a limiting belief. Why are we releasing this limiting beliefs? Well, we want to become more aligned with our destiny. We want to move in the direction of our goals. We want to open ourselves up to more possibility because um, that's what Sagittarius is about. We want to open ourselves up to a new paradigm. And at the end of the day, you need to remember, erase what is there. We are a whiteboard. Just think about that. One of those boards where all you have to do, you write on there with the marker, and then you just erase. Or maybe you want to use chalk. You write on the chalkboard and then you erase. That's what we are. We're consciousness. Okay. So this is another reason we need to transcend what we're talking about, this body. We're actually consciousness. And when we understand we're consciousness, all we have to do is erase what's there that we don't like. And then through our thoughts and our decisions on what it is we now believe, we write on there what it is we believe. So using Johnny as an example, I am freedom. So now, okay, I am freedom means I value things that allow me to be free. I value things that are of this freedom energy. And I believe, anything is possible. When you're free, you don't have limits. You don't have chains on you, okay? You're free. And so now her belief system allows her to be open to all different possibilities. She walks through life fearlessly. People who are free, they're not afraid. They're not scared. They're just like, that doesn't mean they don't feel fear maybe when they're doing something new, because that's part of the human makeup. It lets you know, okay, I'm doing something new. Okay. All right, let's do this. Okay. I'm not quite certain, but I'm free to do it. It gives her it changes her behaviors. Like what she used to do, she don't do no more. Because what she did was under the guise of being controlled, of being, in a box. Well, when you're free, behaviors that you have is no more have to. Is no more, oh, I have this bad habit and so I got to stick with it. No, I'm free. So that's an example. We're using Johnny's example. Hey, Beck. Hi, Furious. You're so welcome, everybody. I contain my own abundance, release of control outcomes. Yes, release control of outcomes and let others rescue themselves. They have an infinite wisdom and potential within them, EM. They have unlimited potential and power and might and wisdom. This is how I've released myself from saving people. They got it. And I will talk myself down off that ledge. I'm headed in that direction of saving somebody. And I tell myself, you know what? Not today. That was not on the agenda. When I look at my little calendar saving somebody, that's not on my agenda. That wasn't, because it always comes up. They're going to call you. It's going to be a phone call. You're going to catch wind on Facebook. You're like, oh my gosh, they need me. Here's another one, EM, that I'm going to offer to you. How about rescuing and saving people is actually a way to avoid you working on your destiny? Hello, somebody out there. How many of us know, oh, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be fill in the blank. Oh, somebody needs me over here. I got to go save them. See, the reason I know this is because I've done that. It's easier for me to go save somebody else than for me to be working on this thing that I feel nervous about. So y'all, we get to erase it and write something new. Okay. Yes, avoidance. Ah, beautiful. Yes. Beck is in Australia. So that moon, I saw it last night. And so I can't wait to see it again tonight. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It is just so disheartening how worth was not installed into many of us growing up. This is true, Johnny. This has to change. We have to instill self-worth into these young ladies daily. I cannot agree more. Cool, Beck. Awesome. Yes, the replay is good. I think that you're going to get a lot from it. Hi, okay, okay. Okay, y'all. So wonderful. I'm so happy I came on this morning. I think I'm going to be switching the mornings. I was coming on in the evening, but I'm going to switch the mornings now that I'm done with homeschooling. So thank y'all so much for joining me. I do have an eclipse class actually at goddessbodymindspirit.com. You can just go to the place where you look for my classes. And I have recently updated the eclipse class. So you can buy that class. It doesn't cost much money. If you're in my inner circle, all my classes are available within the inner circle. Both are highly affordable and worth way more than I charge. So you're going to get your money's worth, goddesses. You're going to get your money's worth. Brothers, feel free to buy the classes. You know, they're not gender specific, but right, they do help everybody. So thank y'all. Love y'all. And I will see you all again soon. I appreciate you for being here. Peace and love.